sometimes in the videos that they give me, there's a picture once in a while in there. I think it's because someone put the wrong button, but nonetheless, I use them. Facebook has changed some stuff, and anymore you got 5 pictures on there on our page where it fills through. So I need pictures to put on there. If we can say it works out, I'll take those pictures once in a while and put them up. The other day I came across a picture of Anthony and Sarah and Laura, and I think that's on. I don't think anybody else is up here. And for whatever reason, I had a little moment of name giving. And it was a good one, I think. But I entitled the picture, "The Family Cross." Now you say, well, John, that's the family, they're like this cross, that's John. But listen, in the book of Romans, this is not a message, by the way, in the book of Romans, the theme of the entire book is salvation. So there's 2 sub-themes. And the first sub-theme in Romans is the blood. The necessity that we need salvation. We have to have the blood of Jesus Christ to cover us and to cleanse us from all sin. That is vital. But once we are saved, the thing shifts from the blood to the cross. And that we are continually needing to go back to the cross and to surrender ourselves over and over again, to continue to put ourselves back under God's authority, because we are a rebellious type of people. And so the idea of having a family cross just means, in a sense, a family altar. And I thought, to me, it was a great name. I told Steph, I said, I got another name for the crosses for singing, and she got rates herself for AAA in the batteries or something like that. And then I said the family cross, and she paused, and I thought, what? And she said, that's what I was ready for. If you have your Bibles tonight, turn to Acts 25. And when you get there, if you'll join me in standing. Acts 25. I'm going to start reading in verse 1. Now when Festus was come into the province, after 3 days, he ascended from Caesarea to Jerusalem. Then the high priest and the chief of the Jews informed him against Paul, and besought him and desired favor against him, that he would send for him to Jerusalem, laying wait in the way to kill him. But Festus answered that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, and that he himself would depart shortly thither. Let them therefore, he said, which among you are able go down with me and accuse this man, if there be any wickedness in him. When he had tarried among them more than 10 days, he went down to Caesarea, and the next day, sitting on the judgment seat, commanded Paul to be brought. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood around about, and laid many and grievous complaints against Paul, which they could not prove. While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar have I offended anything at all. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged of these things before me? And then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews have I done no wrong, as thou very well knowest. For if I be an offender, or have committed anything worthy of death, I refuse not to die. But if there be none of these things whereof these accuse me, no man may deliver me unto them. I appeal to Caesar. Then Festus, when he had conferred with the council, answered, Hast thou appealed to Caesar? Unto Caesar shalt thou go. Father, we thank you today for me and blessings, Lord. Have your way. Open our hearts and our minds tonight, Lord. Touch us. What's your purpose? We need you. Oh, how we need you. This precious one, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We kind of bring you back to where we were the last time we were here. We were dealing with the fact that he stood before Festus for 2 years, constantly going back and forth with him and letting him be able to witness to him. And in those 2 years, Felix did not come to Christ. A long period of time that Felix was given, a blessed period of time that Felix was given an opportunity that he might be saved, and he never took it. I struggled in that message. I had a hard time. I couldn't deal with part of it for whatever reason, and wound up getting focused, and I couldn't get out of it. But anyway, so Paul has been in prison now for quite some time. He was in Jerusalem. He got transferred to Jerusalem to Caesarea. He's in Caesarea. He's been there 2 years. And now the governor has changed. Felix is out of power. Festus comes in to take his place. And we find here in the storyline that as Festus comes in, after 3 days, a very short amount of time, he goes up to Jerusalem. On a mountain, it's down to Jerusalem, but elevation-wise, it's up to Jerusalem, and spiritually speaking, it's up to Jerusalem as well. But he goes to Jerusalem after 3 days in power. And there, very quickly, I know, chief priests come to Festus. They seek his favor in regard to Paul. You would think that the hostility you have towards somebody after 2 years would have kind of faded away a little bit, you think. After 2 years, a guy being up in Caesarea in jail, essentially, having some freedom, people coming and going as they would, but he has no voice outside of the prison. You would have thought that would have been enough. Because, I mean, as Paul keeps on pointing out, there really is nothing chargeable against him. It's just their opinion against him in a matter of law. So they see a new opportunity. They seek the favor, verse 3, and desire favor against him that he would send him to Jerusalem, lying in wait to kill him. You know their plan. I don't know if these 40 plus guys that had took the curse vow, the curse on themselves, that they wouldn't eat or drink till they had killed Paul. If they were still hanging on or not. Or this is another bunch that's going to kill him. Because I kind of feel like they didn't die. They probably ate. But nonetheless, their plan is still, you bring Paul from Caesarea and we'll jump the caravan and we'll kill Paul. Now, at what point do you think everybody's going to come out of the scene? Well, it's a Paul. There's a Roman guard going to be on this caravan. Nonetheless, Festus didn't go for that. He said, listen, if you got a problem with him, you come to Caesarea, and there you can stand before me in the judgment hall. I will, see this there. And he's on a hurry. He spends 10 days, it says, in Jerusalem. And then after that, he goes back up to Caesarea. And the next day, after getting back to Caesarea, he brings Paul before him. There's a judgment hall to hear the case. The Jews, I want you to note the words. It caught my attention as I was looking at that. There in verse 7, and when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about and laid many. Originally there was 3. I got the feeling that there's more than 3 now. There's 3, many and grievous. The word grievous means heavy. I'm thinking that they're laying felonies on his case here, okay? They're trying to really lay it on thick. These are the charges we're bringing against him. We want him to be put to death because of all these great things he has done, horrible things that it says there in the very last of which they could not prove. One of the things that bothers me in our culture, no matter what the subject matter, is that there are so many people who are tried in the court of public opinion without proof. There's an accusation laid, so therefore the guy or woman is guilty, no matter what, and people are tried in the court of public opinion without proof. That's absolutely goes against the founding of this country. A man is innocent until proven guilty. We have a hard time with that, treating people who we are known to be guilty as innocent. They're innocent until proven guilty. And here, they came and accused Paul with things they couldn't prove. In other words, it was my opinion, or better yet, it's my hearsay, my false statement, my perjury that says he is guilty. And they go on, and Paul gives a response, and he deals with it very categorically. He says, he answers for himself in verse 8, neither against the law of the Jews, I haven't done anything against the law of the Jews, the law of Moses, there's nothing that I'm guilty of there. Neither against the temple, but I haven't done anything when I was in the temple. Didn't do anything in the temple that would have been considered vile or anything of that nature. Neither against a Caesar. There's nothing on the level of laws as overarching that I have offended any at all. But I've put my notes in politics. Verse 9. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a favor. That's that kind of speaks a little bit about our culture too. Many of our politicians, many people in general, are willing to sacrifice character and truth for favor. That's what Festus was willing to do. To have peace in the region, to have the Jews on his side, he was willing to kill a man. Put him to death. Despite being charged. He saw Paul as an opportunity for himself to get a marker, if you will, from the Jews that they owed him one. Then said Paul, I like this. I was looking at this and I thought about it. You understand, Paul was a Roman citizen. It's how he is really, he's in Caesarea. The reason why he got kept in Jerusalem in the protection of the castle there, and why he got moved to Caesarea was because he's a Roman citizen. You understand that Rome is a overarching power in the time. That all the kingdoms of the earth that were quote unquote civilized, set under the civilized kingdom of Rome. Rome was in charge. And if anybody who was a Roman citizen got in any kind of trouble, they could invoke their citizenship to Rome. And their case could be moved. Paul, seeing the trap that's laid out before him, knowing what Festus is wanting to do, knowing that the Jews are wanting to kill him, knowing that going back to Jerusalem, first of all, means death. But second of all, is the wrong direction. This is not the direction he's supposed to be going in. Back in chapter 19, again, he purposed that he would go to Jerusalem and then to Rome. In the spirit of purposes. And God's been working that around, even as he sat in prison at Jerusalem. He told Paul, so listen, you will witness of me before Caesar. Paul says, I stand in the court judgment of Caesar. I appeal to Caesar. You know I'm not guilty. The very idea you would send me to Jerusalem to be tried tells me a lie. You know I'm not guilty. He said that right. You know I'm not guilty. I appeal on the basis of my citizenship. I appeal to Caesar. That hit me. I'm kind of thick-headed sometimes when it comes to application of these things. But you know, we live in a world where the world is seeking, oftentimes, especially in foreign countries, to destroy Christianity and Christians. But you know, I belong, I'm a citizen of a country that has an overarching power over all the kingdoms of the world. I'm told in the book of Philippians that I'm a citizen of heaven. And you know what? I have a king that is greater than Caesar. And any time I find oppression, I can invoke the name of my king. I was thinking about that. A verse comes to my mind right now that I didn't even think about when I was thinking about it. But it says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. The reason why he flees from you is because you invoke the name of your King, Jesus Christ. We have an access, a power that sometimes we neglect. All we got to do is remember our citizenship. It's a simple thought, really, but it seems so hard sometimes. We're citizens of a foreign country. Paul maintained the citizenship of the Roman citizen, but he also is a citizen of Israel. He lived in Israel for a long time. But anytime he needed to, he can lay out that citizenship to Rome. Anytime I need to, I can lay out that citizenship to heaven. Anytime the world comes against me, all I got to do is call out the name of my King. Because there's power in the name of Jesus. There's no other name given under heaven by which men must be saved. There's power in that name. I'm a citizen of a foreign country, just as Paul was. Paul had a goal in life, so do I. Well, how often we need to invoke that name. Appeal to Caesar. Appeal to, not Caesar, but to Christ. Simple thought, in many ways, and kind of short. Do things a little different tonight. We won't get a song. Everybody who can and will tonight, I want you to come around the altar. I know sometimes we come up here and we'll join hands tonight. I want you to kneel. If you can, if you're able, if you can come here and just kneel. And I want you to take every issue, every problem that you're facing, and appeal to heaven. Invoke the name of Christ. Father, we thank you today for new blessings, Lord. And Father, we thank you for the opportunity. Father, we think about this church, these people, and give them my hand. Father, help us to check it. I'm not good, I'm not good. I'm not going to be to the will, to the way. Now, Father, I lean more and more on you. But I allow you to show me what you're doing. Father, I allow you to run, not through. Father, I allow you to act through your righteousness, like through. Father, have your way. We request that your way, Lord. Think about the Lord, brother. Father, you should have taken the body. We ask you to help us, Lord, in the Lord. All we think about living, placing for your needs, and also the little family, Lord. That's all you can touch. All you show them the truth. All you open our heart and mind for you to reveal yourself to them. All you conviction of confidence, Lord. All have your way. All we put this church in the full, Lord. We will honor you in time. Oh, awesome. Amazing is your righteousness. God, not just whether that word, not only you said the Lord, maybe speak to the soul. There's the Lord is full of people that are here. They just come, Lord. I ask you to lay conviction on their heart. Lord, you would direct their hearts and their minds. You would, again, Lord, the very fact they're not attending church indicates their backslidden state. Whether they see it or not. The touch creating them a desire to be with the people. If I'll ask you to be with the other needs that are in this church, Lord, with me. Lord, me that I don't know. But Lord, we know there are needs in the house of the house of the house, in the house of Lord of our ground. Lord, there's needs everywhere. If I should change. Oh, Lord, show them unto you. Lord, we need to turn to you. So often we stand and we try to fight battles in our own strength, and Lord, we fail. And we don't understand why you weren't there, but Lord, it's because we didn't actually come. We went out on our own. We stood alone. But Lord, if we would step out in your name, in your strength, in your power, Lord, we would humble ourselves before you first. Oh Lord, what a difference it would make. Have your way. Jesus Christ, for you, pray. Amen.
there were 4 revivals of